All right, we're going live. Ready?
Why do you have a can opener? Oh, is it
To
for you?
open my beer. Hey!
Hey,
How's everybody doing tonight? I can't believe it worked. It's totally local. After dark.
we're totally live.
Oh, man. All right, we got special guests here, so I'm going to lower the. I'm going to lower the music. I'm going to lower the music a little bit. Oh, yeah. So, what's up, guys?
Do you have the? Did you do the drop and like drop the theme song?
Oh, did you not hear it?
No, I couldn't hear it. I know
Oh,
the song. It's one of my
oh
favorite.
man. All right. Well, I hope they heard it at home. If not, then I messed up pretty bad.
It's actually.
All right, I'm bringing up the desktop audio. So, welcome to the. I don't know what. I guess this is the first edition. I don't know if I'm going to do more. If this counts as a totally local podcast, but
Dude, I think we should
this is
definitely
totally
do this.
local after dark. What'd you say, Mike?
I said I think we should definitely do this as much as possible. There's nothing else to do, so why not?
Yeah, I
Look,
mean,
new way you can get in touch with people now, man. This is great.
I guess I got a captive audience, right?
I mean, we could probably get like somebody, you know, somebody like mid-level. Like we probably get like a D plus celebrity that will come on the show.
A middling celebrity,
I'm trying to think. Like we could probably get like what's
Bon Jovi,
no, I said D. Like what's
oh.
like Jason Priestley doing right now?
Jason Priestley.
You
Where's
think
he from?
I don't know. I'm sure he's in LA, but I'm sure he's not doing anything right now.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. But it's got to be local. We need like a local celebrity.
About Roger, Jay Well's ex-husband's just divorced from.
Oh yeah, we could probably get him.
Perfect. Perfect. Um, so guys, thanks for being on the first show. I was told on the boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey, by a psychic that one day I would either have a game show or a talk show. So I think this counts. What do you guys think?
I think so.
All right,
Yeah, I
good.
mean, you nailed it.
uh, basically, I mean, it's funny because not only did Angelo just ask that a minute ago. Oh, did I introduce you guys? Mike Merrell, DJ Mike Merrell to the stars. Angelo Gingerelli, the funny bone of Monmouth, Ocean, and beyond. You know them. If you know the show, you know these guests. They're legendary to me. I don't know. What are you guys drinking today?
I'm doing an Asbury Stout.
Too soon?
Oh, see, it's. I hope that's are you doing that ironically.
A bottle of water.
There he is.
Nice. Good job, Angelo.
You
I
know what it is, man. You're in that dad life now too. And it's like when you wake up in the morning, the kid doesn't care if you had a few beers last night. They're going when you're ready
Oh
to go.
yeah.
You're ready to go.
It hit me. I already did that once where I don't even have to like I can't even really drink anymore, and I don't have to drink that much to be like if I have two beers the next day, I have to wake up at like 5 a.m. and like I don't feel right. I don't feel good anymore. You know?
I mean, the hangover
Yeah.
is getting easier.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not getting any younger either. So, guys. The reason I get to do this and we get to do this is not only because I have a certain acumen for technology and I put three different computers together and a mixer and a microphone and a webcam. Not only that, but
Probably
also there's a literal pandemic going on. Like people don't throw that shit around. People don't throw that word around lightly, you know?
an ugly word.
Oh, I mean, have we had another pandemic in our lifetime? I don't think we have. Not in the United States, right?
No,
I
they
don't
called
think that,
some shit. I think they were trying to say like H1N1, which was technically, I guess, a pandemic, but like
was it though.
I mean, thousands and thousands of people died. They just I don't know. Obama was just better, I guess, at like sweeping that shit under the rug. I have no idea what happened on that one.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I
But
mean, I don't feel like when that happened. I mean, maybe we're just at a different place with the social media access. I mean, I know it wasn't that long ago, but I think it's kind of out of control now. I know you didn't really hear like anyone being like, "Pray for us" in the H1N1 situation. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I think because the administration probably, and I don't want to turn this into a political conversation, but I think the administration was just a little tighter
okay,
on getting that shit, fixing, getting that shit all worked out, swept under the rug, and then like taken care of like in a calm manner, you know.
yeah, yeah. Let's not. We don't have to get.
Yeah, we don't have to like that's one of the things one of the peripheral things. It's so funny cuz like my wife like number one question is always just like, "Well, what are you going to talk about?" And I'm like, she's worried if I'm going to like mention certain things and I don't want to talk about political stuff. This is definitely has some kind of political undertones, but I think it's really interesting that there's a worldwide epidemic going on and people are still arguing about like race. They're arguing about like they're blaming the other side when it's like literally, people are just real sick. It's pretty fucked up.
Like I feel like the cliche when something like this happens is it brings people together and party lines and wealth and race doesn't matter anymore. But that's not the case in the world we live in because every side is pointing fingers at the other side and screaming on their soapbox about how my party would handle this better, this party's handling it poorly. Like I don't feel like this is really doing that at all. Do you guys agree with that?
Well, I mean, I think like this is the first time I think ever really in my lifetime where everybody was so split, and it's been like that for the last 3 years, more than ever. So now it's just basically like it just kind of added fuel to the fire, especially with the conspiracy talk and things of that nature. But like I don't think it would have been like this uh, if circumstances were different. Without getting political, like I think
Right.
like if circumstances were different, I don't know what would have happened or how this would have been treated differently if there was someone else in office. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, and then you said hit the nail on the head too. With social media allows you to say, I think this is to blame on this politician, and now 100 of your friends tell you you're right. So now that everybody kind of gets together and groupthink believes that idea. Whereas, let's say in 9/11 pre-social media, you might have had that idea, but if you didn't have a media platform, there's no way to see if anybody agree with you or not.
Right.
Yeah, somebody was just saying that to me. Like, have we ever had something like this where we could like all freak out together, in like a
And also, it's
social.
the thing where there's so many unanswered questions. I think too. I think we're all kind of in the dark at this point. So there's almost like nothing to do but speculate. And I
And
think that's also
drink.
very detrimental to everything. I think like what's going on right now. The lines are drawn very simply. You know what I mean? Like stay the fuck home unless you have to go out. If you go out very quickly and be sanitary, and then go back in the house.
Well,
I just posted something on Facebook if you saw about stop bringing your kids to get fucking ice cream, man. Like every single ice cream shop, because it's been kind of nice and sunny the last 2 days. Like parents are like, oh, we're cooped up with the kids all day, and I understand that. And Angelo, you probably know more than anything. I mean, this is a different climate too, where like you have parents that are not working and stuck in the house, and then they have to deal with their kids all day, which they're not used to. So I mean, maybe it's a product of that, where they're just like, we got to get these fucking kids out of the house and get them ice cream, something. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but it's like those are the guidelines that people are kind of going against. I go on my social media and I see that people are having like ragers. Like there's like 20 people at a house party, or people have gone away on vacation and they're just like having time of their lives and stuff. But it's like this is not the time to be doing that. And it's very simple. They've been saying that since the very beginning, and it's tough. It's like trying to like just like I don't know, get a bunch of kids that are on recess, just get them grouped together and get them all following the same direction. It's
yeah,
tough.
I mean, I've seen the good and bad of that. Like people are people are like going out, and I think that's great. Like if you see a couple people from the same house going to the park, like there's been so many people outside, and I think that's
Yeah.
great.
And
It,
I think people need to get outdoors. It's great to go for a walk and get like a breath of fresh air. That's you have to. But at the same time, like I've seen people like I mean, just going in and like having parties with 20 people in your house. Like you got to keep it small. But
yeah,
nobody wants to do it. I
see,
like to party. I love to party. I
I
miss
I know.
party.
I miss partying too. I remember the good old days. It's been a while for me now, but it kind of ended. I mean, Mike, you were on the front lines. It just ended abruptly, huh? Like just one day, everyone was like, "Fuck it, whatever," and then the next day, people were like, "Oh, fuck it, we got to stop," right?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. It was, I didn't expect to go. Like I'm a bartender, as you know, and a DJ, and I woke up on Monday morning and I was like, oh, I'm completely unemployed. And it was weird because the bar that I work at in Belmar, once everyone started to get wind of it, the Friday night before we were really locked down was probably the busiest Friday night I've experienced. I mean, even compared to the summer, you know what I mean? So it was like people were just like, as soon as they heard that this was a possibility that we were going to be locked down, people were coming out in droves and just going crazy. And then it kind of went from that on a Friday to Monday where we couldn't even be open anymore. You know what I mean? So it went from basically like having like everything to nothing in about in about 48 hours.
going off the total local thing, if you're in like a Monmouth Ocean County person, to me
I
it's
love it.
almost like a hurricane warning where they're telling you stay inside, get ready for the hurricane, and 9 out of 10 times the hurricane's not that bad, right?
Yeah.
A 10th out of 10 time it's Sandy, and you're like, oh, I should have taken care of my house better, done whatever, got out of the flood zones. And this is like to me, this is like the Sandy of diseases, where it's like
Oh
we're
yeah, of course.
careful of things, and it's not 9 out of 10 times we do more than we should, and we're like, oh, nothing happened, and now we're like, oh no, we need to take this seriously.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what we were kind of talking about before, in the wintertime, they're like, oh shit, there's a blizzard coming. So everyone would go out and they would stock up their food and all, the bread and the milk and all that stuff. And then nothing would happen. So that's why I feel like there's more people that are more apt to be like, this is bullshit. This is a money grab. This is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm not at all going to defend the kids that are partying either in Asbury or in Florida and these like ragers, like Mike said. But I do think if you're like 20 years old right now, you growing up in the era of the media and social media crying wolf way more
Yeah.
told you to be careful of something that actually happened, right? So I don't I'm not defending them, but I do understand a 21-year-old kid being like, this is nothing. I'm not going to get it. I'm having to blow out my basement tonight.
Right.
Uh, I'm a big fan of. I don't know many people that like say this, but I'm a huge fan of the Terminator franchise. Not so much the comic books, but like the
How was the
movies.
last one, though, by the way? Did you watch the most recent one?
I did, but this is the thing. Like, I'm a fan, so even like the ones that nobody else likes, like I like the TV show. I love that. That's one of my favorite TV shows
Yeah.
because with the and not to get too nerdy, well, I guess it's too late, but like with Terminator, the great part that some people hate is that time travel is involved. So no matter what they do, they could just be like, fuck it, whoops, we went back even further than the last time, so that didn't happen, that's in a different time anyway. So like I think that we grew up on like crazy movies like that, so part of me is just like, when this started happening, I'm like, oh, okay, well, here we are, here we are, this is what happened. The storm before Sandy was not that bad, and I prepared. I like boarded up my mom's house and did all this crazy shit, and then nothing happened. And then I didn't live with her during Sandy, and I was like, all right, you guys got to take care of this, and they did it, and it rocked them. So I mean, I guess this is one of those instances where you really gotta this is some serious shit, basically, as we all can tell.
I would say to myself, I started to take it seriously when the sports leagues and the NCAA started canceling these billion-dollar industries. Because you can close a school down and nobody really cares. You can close local business down, nobody cares. But when you start shutting down billion-dollar industries sponsored by multi-billion-dollar corporations, there's something happening, right? Because if you are crying wolf on this one and you cause Nike and Coca-Cola and Gatorade to lose these billions of dollars they do in these games and events, you're never being elected to office again. So that tipped me off too. This is way more serious than I initially thought. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, it's way more serious than anyone really could even have imagined.
What's the deal with like basketball players getting coronavirus? Like, where are they hanging out? What are they sniffing that they're like getting the Roni like faster than other people? Doesn't it seem that way?
I don't necessarily think that they're getting anything faster than anybody else. I just think that they're just more, if they're feeling some sort of symptomatic issue, they have way easier access to tests. I feel like
that's some other bullshit too, man. People are real mad about like celebrities. Like they're like, my husband died, I can't get tested, but fucking Kris Jenner is like, she's like on the top of the list.
Yeah, there's a friend of mine that I used to work with. She had a similar instance. I think she wasn't feeling well and there was a problem, and all she wanted to do was get a test.
Club.
She went to an urgent care, and then they turned her away there, then an ER, then they bounced her around to 3 different emergency rooms, and literally could not get a test right now. So the regular Joe Schmo off the street, it's hard for them to get tested. So I mean, I just think it's more of a coincidence or a numbers game. I don't think that those players were anywhere in particular or anything else. I just think that they just have easier access to tests. Just like why is it that before this thing even really got out of hand, we got word that Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson had it? Like why?
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Like why was that the first big drop of like who was sick when that was going on in Italy and stuff? Whatever. It's just we were not prepared for this whatsoever on any level.
Hell's no. I really wish that it's so funny when you think back on like when you heard about it and people were like being serious about it. Kind of harkens back to what Angelo was just saying, as far as like, I don't think any of us were like really. Maybe we would maybe we just wanted our head in the sand, you know, because it's like, this sucks, dude. We're like grounded. We're grounded in our houses. We can't leave.
I'll tell you what, there was a time where I was like, I guess like last week, I had a couple drinks and I was hanging around and I was like, hey man, I was like, I could use a vacation. Like, I don't care. Like, I got enough money to last a month. You know, I'll take a month off. That's fine with me. And now it's like, what is it, day 6?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, man, this has got it. The sooner the better. This has got to end.
Yeah, the idea of quarantining sounds so much better than it really is.
Oh yeah.
Also, like I keep coming back to this. Like everybody works as hard as they can to make their house or their apartment as good as they possibly can, but we can't wait to get out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys crying like a lunatic to have a nice house and a nice TV and a place to before. I got to get out, dude. I don't understand why I'm even trying to have a nice house anymore.
Yeah.
I love being home. I love my place, but like it's a lot of hours in a day. There's only so many naps you could take and so much shit you could watch on TV.
Yeah. Seriously. I mean, at least, well, congratulations, Mike. You just got a dog, so that'll keep you busy.
So I was like, was so bored. Well, no, it's funny because I've been looking to get a dog for like a little bit now, but I think once this happened, like a couple days ago, I saw something in like MSPCA threw something out, and they were like, the best thing you could do during this time is adopt an animal or foster an animal. And I was like, you know what? You're 100% right. So I got a little more aggressive with it, and I got lucky to get this dog. But we'll see. I mean, I'm just fostering him now, and then if it works out, I'm gonna want to adopting him. But
is he so far so good?
I mean, so far so good. I worked with a rescue out in South Brunswick called Four Paws.
You better work with it. Oh, I think that's where we got our dog.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually true because the woman who runs it, your wife is a mutual friend on Facebook. So
there you go. Andy Chase wants to see the dog, but if the dog's sleeping, you don't have to bother the dog.
Tell Andy. Oh, can I see the chat thing? All right, anyway, Andy.
If you go to it, but you got to mute it. So if you have like a computer,
I see.
I'm like Batman over here. I have 3 computers open, so I'm on top of it. We were going to do a podcast. It was going to be on Friday. It was going to be Aaron Levine from LG Insurance, Kimmy from Confections of a Rock Star, Brett from Coworks. We were looking at getting the dude, I think his name's Jason from Mogo. And like, first of all, like Aaron pointed it out. He's like, as the day crept closer and closer, he's like, all right, this is kind of irresponsible. Like, we can't get together. But on top of that, like, all these businesses are like, dealing with all this shit that they have to, deal with now. Right. And it's like, it's kind of crazy to think that like we really have to do something to, like, they're doing that thing. I really didn't read much about it, but they're doing that tip jar or whatever for bar. How does that work? Have you seen that, Mike? You would know.
Actually, I'm on the Asbury Park one and the Belmar one. So basically, like,
is it like OnlyFans or whatever, but for bartenders?
No, but I've been thinking about an OnlyFans, possibly.
I would pay you, man.
I don't know what I would do. Like,
I wouldn't care.
Cool.
It's OnlyFans, like a Patreon type system.
Yeah, but it's like girls in their 20s, like spread eagle, like you got to pay them, like,
to see the pictures or whatever.
Something like that. I mean, isn't that?
I never heard of that before, honestly.
I mean, you're really downplaying it.
Isn't it? Isn't that basically what it is, though?
I mean, it's a lot more than that. It's straight. It's mostly porn. You could just say it's porn. Porn.
It's porn. Like, they put up like these Twitter girls. I call them twats. They like put up these like like skimpy outfit pictures, and then they're just like OnlyFans, like, and then they get paid. They're probably making bank right now, right?
I mean, it's through the roof. I bet you like Pornhub is just, no pun intended, but they're probably exploding right now.
Exploding all over the screen, man. Do you think
their numbers must have gone up dramatically?
Do you think, like, if you had the ability, and I'm not saying neither of you don't have this ability, and if you do have an OnlyFans page, let us know. But like, if you had the ability, it's kind of like what Superhuman, like, if you could do it, would you do it?
Like, what are you saying as far as like?
If you could have like pinup pic, I don't know, whatever girls like.
If I was like, I'm just gonna like, I'm gonna just oil my body and like, slide around.
Yeah, yeah, like put up a picture on Twitter, like you're in a towel or something, and then
Right,
like it's like,
like people like $10 to see like a 2-minute video.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, hey, listen, I told you like I wasn't really concerned, but like once June comes around, I'm like really looking for ways to try to supplement my income a little bit.
I hear you. I hear you.
I could probably get creative somehow. But
Definitely.
wait, how do we even get here? What day is it?
Yeah, things got weird.
Yeah.
So Angelo, no OnlyFans page for you?
Oh no, I do it in a second. Not even think about it. Today I took a 10 push-up challenge on Instagram, which involved doing 10 push-ups with my 40-pound daughter on my back, and I didn't make any money doing that. If I could get paid for just posing, absolutely.
Isn't that crazy? Like I can remember when I was like, and like obviously if even if I was in my 20s right now, I still couldn't do it. But like I remember back then, like the stuff that people could do now, like I don't want to sound like a grumpy old man, but no shit, like there's a pandemic going on. Like things are weird, man. Things are strange, and it goes all the way from one part of the spectrum is OnlyFans, and the other side is a pandemic. I mean, am I right or am I right? You know?
I don't know, man. I don't even know.
Too
You know what?
far?
I'm just going back to the so to give you an idea what the tip jar is, just to go back. Now I remember.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're talking about totally local events, local happenings, and how to support local businesses.
Local fans only pages.
Yes.
Yeah, locals. I mean, hey, we should. I mean, if any of you guys are local and you have an OnlyFans page and you want to put it, just comment it below,
Yeah.
and maybe Andrew will subscribe.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. But
So
tell us about the tip jar. How does it work? I should go look at it right now. Oh, we got a bunch of likes over that.
it's more or less an Excel spreadsheet that you can actually go to the website. Colleen Nealon, a friend of mine who she works at longtime bartender at Porta, just working for Smith Group generally. She put this together, and it's basically a list of by restaurant bartenders with their Venmo information. So if it was like a bartender or a restaurant that you frequented and you want to just like maybe like give a little bit of a donation or like a thank you to a particular bartender, you can go to their Venmo and send them money directly.
That's crazy.
Just be good, just to kind of help out in these times.
There's no like tally on the site because that would be like
No, I don't think there should be a tally. I don't think anyone should like.
Charles got more than me. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, of course. I've received a couple. It feels a little weird, to be honest with you. I was a little bit apprehensive about putting my name on there in the first place, but
why is that? Why would you give?
I don't know, because I guess maybe I feel like by doing that I was kind of like asking for a handout, which I you know what I mean. So I felt
listen, it's a little different than an OnlyFans page.
Well,
okay?
listen, but like you know what, but you and a lot of other people. I mean, everybody that I've talked to has told me I shouldn't feel that way, as well as there's a lot of other people that are doing that are on there. The people that put it together, the people that are on that list that I'm friends with and I respect. So I felt a little more comfortable, but people have sent me, a couple of people have sent me that, shout out to them. But I've messaged them privately and I was like, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that, and kind of moved on. I don't think anyone should have any idea how many people are tipping who or who's doing what.
No, not at all. It would get crazy. It would get like, Facebook and shit.
And it's starting to catch on too, which is cool. There's someone's my buddy Mike Kelsey. She's starting a Belmar one, so that should be up in the coming week, I guess. And then I think a lot of other towns will start to follow suit. I think it's a great idea. I think it helps. And there are people that are loyal patrons and regulars, and there's definitely a relationship between bartenders and customers. So for those people who are kind of still working and still and want to lend a helping hand, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, pop that link on there.
I put up on Facebook and Instagram yesterday that one of the bars I host an open mic at, the Brighton Bar in Long Branch, right? They can't open. They started serving takeout dinners last night. And what I put on Facebook, which I totally agree with, is if you're in the game that we're in, where you're doing live shows, whether it's comedy, DJing, music, whatever it is, and these venues let you perform there regularly, right? And the people you work with all the time are not making any money now because they're closed, we should be the first people to help you guys out. Like, you guys have to sit through the bad sets, the bombing, the empty rooms, stuff that doesn't work out well, and you support us all year long. So if we can't help you guys out now, what are we doing? I think the regulars should be helping you guys out, and these performers, because I always look at it as the venue owner is taking a risk by having us in their venue, right? That's going to turn any kind of profit. Then their wait staff is taking a risk that we're going to bring in enough people that buy enough drinks to tip you guys and buy food and drink and make it work for the night. So when you guys hit a speed bump, I think we should try to help you guys out the way I think if we have a bad show that doesn't sell or doesn't do what we expect it to do, give us another shot at it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you? All right. So to make it local, let's go around and see. Tell me what you guys are seeing on the street. Some of the things I've heard, like this woman was doing. She was in her yoga studio and she was doing like broadcast, and somebody narked her out, and like the cops came and like shut it down. Now, do you think that's messed up because like she was just in there by herself? I think it's kind of messed up that somebody narked on somebody, but maybe it's I don't know. It's getting into a weird gray area. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that snitching thing gets weird when one person breaking the law can get everybody else sick. I'm normally a no snitching ever guy.
Yeah, yeah,
This is weird.
yeah,
But I do think if you're in a room by yourself and you're broadcasting from it, that seems to be okay to me.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it should be okay to me too. But I was about to snitch on Dairy Queen straight up.
I mean, I guess that's the world we're living in now. You
I don't
know.
know why I'm so mad about this ice cream thing, but I just
You think that the managers of the ice? I guess they got to make their money. That's the thing. Like,
I think
it's not even season though. It's March, man. Like it's not
it
even.
was beautiful. It's been beautiful out.
what I'm going to guess happened is Dairy Queen corporate figured out if they're the only game in town, they got to stay open, right? I don't know if you guys are video game guys though, but GameStop kind of tried to pull the same thing where they forced the stores to stay open because people are bored and want to go out and buy video games, whether it's safe to be in that store or not.
Right.
Man.
Which is crazy because if you have any kind of game system, you don't actually need to leave the house to buy anything. But that's
Yeah, exactly. How is there still like GameStops anyway? You know.
No.
Don't mind my bottle opener. The other thing I heard, and this was a moral quandary as well, is that some guy was telling me the other day, and he was kind of mad about it. He was like, all these New Yorkers are coming down to LBI to their summer homes. They're like buying up shit and just in their summer homes, just like chilling. And this dude was mad. And when he told it to me, you know how like somebody tells you a story and you kind of take their side of it because like they're telling you like it's us versus them kind of a thing. And
Right.
I read about it in Asbury Park Press as well. But then I started to think about it. I'm like, New York City is disgusting. Like it's dirty and gross. Everyone lives on top of each other. There's rats and shit everywhere. Like I can't blame anybody for wanting to bounce the fuck out of New York and come down to LBI. So like if they own a house down there, that's kind of like their right,
They
right?
can do whatever they want to do, but don't take your kids to Lighthouse.
Stay out of Dairy Queen.
Stay out of Dairy Queen. You heard it first here,
It's
fuckers.
crazy. You're going to Wegmans and then spending 2 hours there, and then you're going home and still going to Lighthouse, man.
I love people are really mad, and I love that they're posting pictures in like the Asbury groups of the crowds and stuff. Like, dude, this one dude posted a picture in one of the Asbury groups of like, look at the crowd, and I wanted to be like, hey asshole, you're standing there too, you know?
I know. I'm not gonna lie. Like I went up to like on that really nice day when it was like 75, like 2 days ago. I took a walk up on the boardwalk with some friends. Like.
I think that's I've definitely been obviously taking the kid, my wife, the dog for a walk in our neighborhood and stuff. It's really mental to see I saw kids. I can't get over this. I tell this to everybody, but like I saw a group of kids the other day playing kickball like in a field, and I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Like I haven't seen a kid playing kickball with other kids in a field. Like people are going so crazy. You know what I mean? Because they have nothing to do.
I think it's such an example of you just want to do what you can't do.
Yeah.
If there's no coronavirus situation, those same kids' parents are yelling them to go outside and play, and they're yelling back, no, I want to stay inside and be on Xbox, right? But as soon as your parents like, you got to stay inside and play Xbox, they're like, no, we got to go play kickball.
Man. What also have you guys seen like has on social media and stuff, have you guys seen an uptick in like crazy conspiracy theories like leak like so you see somebody post something you're like oh haha, but like now it seems like it's gotten to like full tilt like where people are just posting more and more people are posting crazy shit.
I thought it was actually a lot worse last week before it actually got to be a little bit real for everyone.
Yeah.
I thought I think now since everything's really shut down and everything's like it's the cases are rising, I feel like people are less apt to like, to blame it on a conspiracy, except for like those like QAnon people and stuff like that. They just think everything is conspiracy even before this anyway.
They got it all worked out, man. They're like
all worked out. It's like that's a whole wild thing. I can't even.
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna have another guest on. I saved him. I wanted to talk to you guys, and then I'm gonna do another late one if time allows, but I'm probably gonna get into some crazy shit later. But I don't like the funny thing is to me that I was thinking about this today. Like, there's two people I know that are like conspiracy, like they're conspiracy nuts or whatever, and one of them's like one of them's a conservative conspiracy nut, and then the other one is like a liberal conspiracy nut. So on one side, somebody's like, "Oh, Bernie Sanders is a Russian asset, and the world's getting taken over by reptile people," and on the other side, they're like, "Oh, Donald Trump is a reptile person, and he's going to take over the planet." Like we can't even agree. We can't even agree on that shit, you know?
They can both agree that reptile people are the root of the problems.
Basically, I mean, that's what it all comes down. I mean, it goes down some dark. I've been up late at night, and it goes down some dark places where like Oprah and Tom Hanks aren't even safe. You know?
Yeah, but if you're like QAnon, like you think that you think that Oprah is running like some sort of child trafficking ring,
dude.
Yeah, that happened this week, huh?
Dude, there's been she was involved, and I don't want to turn. I'm not going to sound like one of them, but it's a fact that she had a school open in South Africa, and it was rocked by two separate sex scandals. Two, like they had one and then one on top of the other. So
I don't think they're calling Oprah for their daily meeting every day and being like, "Oprah, shit's weird over here." Like, I don't think she has any idea. I think she did some good, and then I don't think she has anything to do with that, man.
I don't know, man.
Sad. I think sad about that. Be real sad.
It is, dude. I have to stop reading that shit. What's up with Arnold Schwarzenegger and those little ponies, dude? I haven't listened to him. I just see him.
They live in the house with him?
Yeah.
What?
Is it a pony? I thought it was like a llama.
No, it's like some kind of like a little horse? I was gonna say I was gonna say midget pony horse, but I don't think that's the right nomenclature anymore.
They wouldn't appreciate that.
No, it's a little person horse. Is that right? That don't sound right either.
Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it's
is it a Shetland pony? Is that what it's called?
Whiskey, and he's like, after my home workout, fueling up with whiskey and Lulu.
Why would you possibly like? I guess fuck. Like, that's the scary thing too, man. Like, it's like that Gail Godot making that Imagine video. It's that like these video. People. The people are so out of touch, man. Like, why does Arnold Schwarzenegger need not one pony, but two? And why do these ponies live in his house, like eating his cereal off his plate? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Walking around his home just shitting everywhere, I guess. Like,
it's such a weird animal to have in your house. Like, I don't get why you keep it in like a barn or something outside. Clearly, you got property you can do it with if you wanted to.
You could have like a pony handler and have a separate pony house and go visit the pony. Like, why does the pony? Maybe the pony has a door, like its own pony door.
Like, I don't know anything about horses, but do you think if you were a horse, you'd be happy living in a house?
I mean, if Arnold Schwarzenegger is feeding you, like, he's probably feeding him the most delicious oats and shit, like the best oats money could buy.
Oh, it looks like he's eating foie gras in this picture. I think, like, I mean, you know what? To be honest with you, like, I'm actually not even mad about it. I actually appreciate the distraction, and I think I like kind of, you know what? And if Arnold's batshit crazy, cool. I'm glad. I hope he really is. It's not hurting anybody. But is there just a handler just like chasing the horses around the house?
I prefer Arnold having ponies in his house to Gail Godot making a montage of Imagine. Like a hands down, like.
Wait, I know she's the first person that sings, but is she the one that put it together?
I think she's like like, what do you do? Gail Godot calls you up, like, "Hey, Will Ferrell, I'm making this video." Like, it's not like Will Ferrell's gonna be like, "You're an idiot. No, I'm not doing that." Like, you kind of like, how many times Gail Godot gonna call you up for a favor? You know, so people were just probably like, "Oh, okay." They didn't realize the bad look, man, very bad look. Yeah. I want to know the people that said no, that were like, "No, Gail, don't do this."
Yeah, I need to know that. I need that list to see, because
I'm mad at every single person. Jimmy Fallon, Will Ferrell. I love Will Ferrell. I'm mad at him for doing that.
Dude, I'm mad at. I mean, Kristen Wiig and Sarah Silverman. That's the heartbreaking.
Yeah, man.
I like Jimmy Fallon, but it doesn't surprise me that he did it. I think Jimmy Fallon will do anything you ask him to do.
I think it makes me appreciate Janine Garofalo a lot more, because she kind of went like full political nut. And like, now I'm like, all right, well, she could do her as long as she's not in this fucking stupid video, you know?
It's very cringeworthy. And also, why that song anyway in the first place? Like, I don't get it.
It's funny coming from a bunch of rich people. Imagine like No Possessions, like, You fucking
Good luck with
assholes.
that, guys.
Yeah, like how about you go on that Asbury Park tip jar fucking website and fucking donate all your possessions, you
Imagine a
shitheads.
world where you don't have enough money to have miniature ponies living in your house.
There's a
Yeah.
couple. There's a parody video of it that's pretty hilarious. That made
Yeah,
me
Will
laugh.
Sasso did that. That's really funny.
Oh man, I love it. It's so funny. The other thing too is like we live in a world where, and I'll get back to the local stuff in a second, but I've had a lot of time to think, guys, because I've been sitting at home, I've been waking up every 4 hours, and that's been going on before the apocalypse hit. So now it's just like I'm in this surreal world. But like, speaking of surreal world, like Scott Baio got in a Twitter argument with Richard Marx, and they're
Yeah.
going back and forth. Like what's going on, man? And I kind of side with Richard Marx. Who would have thought? If you would have told my 10-year-old self that I wouldn't thought Charles would be in charge.
Nice.
Shit.
Oh man, and you really thought about that for a while. didn't you?
I've been thinking about it all day, man.
Also, we're talking about people that half the people that are watching this right now don't have any idea who they are. Actually, that's not true.
Maybe. I mean, he Richard Marx did burn some guy the other day who was like, "Who the hell are you?" But enough about Richard Marx.
Richard Marx had the dopest mullet. Of all,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
He looks youthful. He looks really good. Like for
I
his
think
age.
he married the Daisy Fuentes from MTV. Does that
Shut
sound
up.
familiar?
Seriously?
I think so. They were on a plane and he stopped some guy from trying to open the emergency exit. And when that came out, people were more surprised that they were married than that he saved everybody's life on the plane.
What do you?
Yeah, I know that.
Somebody freaked out and tried to open the door while they were flying.
Yeah, and he stopped them.
How did he stop him?
I think he just like bear hugged the guy and sit down.
He's mighty.
Yeah,
I about
I,
this.
re-
Wow.
I really think that's true. Like that's like the ultimate late '80s power couple, but they just got together in like 2020.
Fuck yeah,
Daisy
man.
Fuentes was fine.
She was smoking, dude.
Yeah.
Smoking.
She probably still is. I mean, I have just a picture of her in my mind
Yeah.
20 years ago. But
And then like what really like took it up a notch is like when you saw her like speaking Spanish and you were like, "Whoa, what?" Like she like took it up.
videos in 2 languages.
Yeah, like it was amazing. You mentioned DJing before, Mike, and I think I think that once this kind of like goes back and subsides, I think people are gonna want to rage. I think the DJ is like the whole business around here, especially when it gets warm out, is gonna be pretty killer. No.
I mean, I think the two businesses that I'm in are going to be pretty intense once everything's back open again.
Well, that's good. I'm glad, man. I'm like it makes me kind of what you were saying before, Angelo. Like it makes me want to go out even more right now.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you? How long, Angelo? How long have you been hunkering? How long have you been quarantined in your house?
Since last Friday, basically.
Uh,
Yeah, like last Friday, they announced that my daughter wouldn't have school moving forward, and I'd be working from home. My wife would be working from home, and we've been out very little. Probably 8 days at this point.
Huh. So, what? How old is your daughter?
4.5.
What is that? What is that like? Is that like trying?
Yeah, it's tough, man. It is because like, you know what it is when they're in school, and you'll see this when your son gets a little bit older. They're like it's a very regimented day. They do something different every probably 30, 40 minutes. It's never like just chill for 3 hours on the couch and watch a movie. You know what I mean? So trying to just keep her engaged in her schoolwork as best I can every day. Just trying to keep her busy and kind of like guessing what's coming next. It's challenging, but we're trying to do the best we can.
Epic shouts to Ralph who just posted baby boom wait 9 months. I bet a lot of people are just straight up. But I mean, I don't know though. Like maybe this makes me lame, but like I guess you could have a lot of sex, but
I mean, yeah, of course.
after a while, I don't know, man.
I mean, there's also only so much sex you can have.
That's what I'm saying.
There's physiological limits to it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, unless any of you guys are into like tantric sex, but I don't think that's actually got nothing to do with what is a tantric like. Is that do you like have sex for like 9 hours?
You
or
just
do
kind of look at each other until you squirt.
like that, just sit on opposite sides of the room and just stare for
Yeah.
9 hours.
Yeah, you
Seems
kind of
like-
like you just kind of like wait, like I don't know, and then you don't even. You just kind of like just sit there, and then you like invert that orgasm or something. Then you don't even. That would be the worst, like OnlyFans, because it would be like 5 hours. They'd be like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Making $3 an hour.
Yeah.
That idea always seemed like a huge waste of time to me. Like,
Yeah.
we could do this in 10 minutes, or we could do it in 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't like. There's a certain point where it's like, all right, I got stuff to like. I don't want to, I don't want to be not romantic, but like, I got stuff to do,
I don't know. I guess you really can't knock it till you try it.
I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna knock it. And I'm certainly not gonna try it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. So what do you guys? What are you guys' schedules looking like? Are you guys just up like all hours like me, or what do you guys got lined up?
tomorrow-
An empty calendar.
I think tomorrow I'm gonna probably. So I have a dog now, so I'm gonna probably get up and walk it.
That's a good idea.
I'll probably continue to get fat, which is what I'm doing for the last week and a half anyway. I'm just eating. So I'll probably make a big breakfast, and then I'll take a nap, and I'll probably walk the dog again. Probably like hit like 3 episodes of Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives. Maybe, I don't know, and then just think about what I'm gonna have for dinner, and then.
Have you guys been getting any delivery?
You know what? I honestly I did this thing in the last week since I kind of freaked out because they kept like kind of teasing the fact that they might close a grocery store or they might go on total lockdown.
Yeah.
So I've actually been like hoarding food in a way, like not like more than I ever have. So like I have a bunch of stuff.
You have like a ton of cereal. That's what I imagine.
I do. I bought actually 3 boxes. I mean, I love cereal anyway.
I knew
I
it.
always have at least 2 boxes like on deck, no matter what. But I definitely think it was like a situation like I have triple the food that I normally have in the house, and I'm a food shopper. Like even though I'm generally I live by myself, I generally have a ton of I generally have enough food, but I have like it's out of control right now. And the funny thing is I don't even want to talk about what I ate for dinner.
We want to hear it though.
I went to Wendy's.
You went to the drive-thru, bro?
Yeah, I just went to there.
Is that safe? Did you just spray the lady like with like Lysol on her face?
I don't know, man. I don't know what I was thinking. It was just an idea. But like, I have a lot of. So that's anyway. To answer your question, I have nothing going on. I got nothing.
Oh, okay. Thanks for shocker. This just did. Mike ain't doing shit tomorrow.
You guys know what I had for dinner. You guys know which food's in my house. It's cool.
I mean, this is what it comes down. This is what like the real news is gonna be like eventually. This is gonna be coming on and be like, yep, still home.
Yeah, still home.
Oh man.
Still waiting it out.
I'm kind of good at this though, man. I can do nothing really well.
I think our generation really can like responded the best to all this. Like I could sit at home. I got no problem doing that. I just had a kid, so I was sitting at home a lot anyway. So I'm just still sitting at home.
Could you imagine if this happened like 20 plus years ago where you couldn't leave your house and there was like 8 TV channels, no
my God.
Netflix, no Amazon, no podcast. It's just so much. If you ever got to be, this is the perfect time to be quarantined because you could just do anything. If we could do this without being in the same room, this is impossible 10 years ago.
Yeah.
People would have went nuts and then just believed everything the news was telling. I guess, but depending on what channel. But like nobody would have anybody to complain to. You'd just be sitting there,
It's true.
I don't know if
Right.
it'd be better or worse, to be quite honest.
think
I mean, I
the
guess it's
marriage
worse.
would end because if one person was like just screaming about conspiracies to their spouse, eventually the spouse is like, "I'm just gonna take my chance to get coronavirus. I got to get out of here."
Yeah. And we
I'm
wouldn't
trying
know
to think,
about
like-
like Arnold's ponies.
Right? Or Gal Gadot singing "Imagine."
I've been trying to like get out and like do a bike ride every day. Try to do like something.
My bike's broken, man, and I can't get it fixed because of this damn virus. So I gotta walk, which is
What do you-
fine. The dog's good. Having a dog, I gotta say, Mike, is good because like if it like forces you to like you have to go outside because you
Yeah.
look over at the dog and the dog's just like, I'm bored, man.
You have
you
a
know?
dog and a baby, so. That's,
Oh man,
um,
it's a full house. All I keep saying to my wife, and I probably should stop saying this, is like I didn't want a dog, but here I am walking the dog. I love the dog now. Like me and the dog are homies. It's all good, and me and the baby are getting along pretty well. Like at first, like the baby was just like a baby, like the like a newborn. It wasn't doing anything, didn't give a shit about me. But
Right.
now the baby is like warmed up to me. Like it'll like I can hold the baby. we're getting along. We have a rapport. I tell the baby jokes now. Baby's laughing. So me, the dog, the baby, the wife, we're stuck in this house, but I guess we're making it work.
But you're working, right? Like, so but you see, obviously you can work from home. You usually work from home anyway, right?
Yeah, I was working out of Old Bridge, but all the work that I do now, I think there's a lot of people like that. I mean, if you're like a bartender or you work at a nail salon or like you're an electrician, I guess there's a lot of businesses where you can't do that, and I'm just listing them all. But like, as far as there's a lot of businesses on the flip of that where you don't. I don't, I think it's calling to attention the fact that a lot of people don't actually have to be there, which
Yeah.
might be to the detriment of certain people.
I'm kind of curious about that. That when businesses and school systems stuff figure out so much of this can be done remotely, does it change their structure at all moving forward? You know what I mean? Like, are we just blowing money by having these offices and these
Fuck yeah.
facilities that we might not need?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But like, I mean, I think people are hopefully just going to ignore that and go back to normal. I'm really pissed, the more I think about it, like the time I was born in, the age that we were born in, like I don't want to deal with this shit. Like I guess if you were born like in the 20s, they had prohibition and like polio and shit. So that wasn't cool. But I mean, there's got to be like a sweet spot where like, this is like I don't want to deal with this
That was actually
basically.
the slogan for polio. They're like polio, not cool.
Not cool. Not cool, polio.
Yeah,
Oh.
I do think our generation gets the short end of the stick a lot. I think it's made worse by the older generation just screaming to us about how easy we have it.
Fuck yeah. And by the way, to the older generation, like stop complaining about the millennials because like the millennials are like super like they're older now. They're like in their 30s, like they're older. Like stop using that as like a crutch. Like get mad at like young kids, that's fine, but let's not like I don't know, there's a lot of ageism going on and there's a lot of like these terms that people throw around. I don't think they actually know what they mean, you know?
There's been a massive attack on baby boomers lately too. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
everyone's on
I
their
agree with
toes
that.
right now. Everyone's like, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
it's okay. Boomer thing started happening. It was like shit.
Now I'm like, yeah, it's just I just wonder at a certain point, are we just gonna be instead of instead of Gail Godot like inspiring people to come together? I wonder if it eventually will just get so bored at like pointing the finger and bored at like complaining about each other that eventually we'll just kind of want to sit home and relax and really kind of let all that stuff go. Maybe after this pandemic, like God, Jah willing, this pandemic passes and everybody is relatively okay except for the people that died and their family members, but like everyone else is okay. Like hopefully, like we'll come to some realization that we're all just really bored and we got too much to do to really be, you know, complaining about the dumbest shit in the world. Maybe that's
Yeah,
just
I
me
think
though.
it's either it's like it seems like it's kind of weird. It's like either people are real fiery or they're real complacent. I can't really. It's like this really kind of like.
You run out of steam when you're sitting in your house. Like how mad could you
Oh, I
be?
have no energy to argue with anybody. Like I'm just cool. I'm just trying to stay alive. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
really just trying. I'm really trying to not argue on. I get into arguments on Facebook with like family members, and I'm like, I started turning it into a GIF war because I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I just don't care.
Then you wonder too, like, I've never been in any kind of online argument that ended with the other person being like, you know what, you're right, I was wrong. I now agree with you 100.
I don't
percent
think it's ever happened in the history of the internet.
No,
What about on those like all these like I used to like I joined all these groups like Asbury for sale and like brick garage sales and all this shit, like just to see what's out there, see what's going on. And like you can't even like go on those anymore with the oh, look at the
that's cute.
puppy.
That's precious.
Oh man. What okay, so people at home, if anyone's interested, what are we gonna name this? What are we gonna name this animal here?
So he's half Jack Russell, half corgi.
Uh huh.
Um,
That's a
so they called him Jack, like off of the transport, like that's
yeah,
what they have his papers signed under, but it's not official.
yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna call him. I don't know
He-
why he's also laying like
I
this.
thought you were because he loves you. Look at that. How are you gonna get rid of that dog? I want you to look that dog in the face and say, "I'm only fostering you. I'm gonna give you away at any second." Go
I
ahead.
know. I mean I've only had him since earlier than today, so um, We'll see.
Uh,
But I think if I keep him, I think I want to call him Walter.
yeah, I like Walter. It's a fun thing to yell out too. I was telling you before. Our dog Nugget was named Prissy, and I couldn't see myself being like, Prissy, come here, Prissy. You know. So Nugget it is. You know.
Yeah. So we'll see. But he's a good dude so far. Right?
He's tired, man.
Like,
You gotta you gotta bring him to you need train the dog needs training, bro. Trust me.
oh, I know.
I met like we took the dog to puppy training and it worked out pretty well, but still I was lackadaisical, you know. So
So you're saying you took him to training and then you have not kept up with the training, so the dog's
no, the dog is good relatively, not the best or most. It's not like a German Shepherd like trained for like police like border patrol duty. It's like it's not that level. It's definitely
Yeah.
not the level where it's just like shitting in my shoes.
Yeah,
you know?
it's not gonna save your life, but it's not gonna also
It's not gonna kill me.
be on your favorite shirt. Right, I get it.
Yeah.
I totally
It's
get it.
and it's great that Nugget doesn't hasn't is really good with the baby, really understanding. So that's like something we were so super nervous about.
Right.
So it's not funny. That was a nervous laughter.
I know. I noticed it. I laughed with you too, but I just felt it.
I was like, it's not like the dog's gonna attack the baby. But seriously, no, the dog's not gonna do that. Don't worry.
I
About
know,
thought you were about to say a minute ago, you've got to take the dog to Yappy Hour at the Wonder Bar.
Oh man, I'm like, I'm a little nervous about that. It gets crazy in the streets.
Yeah, I went there once. It was pretty nuts, man. Just people and dogs everywhere. It was a crazy vibe.
What kind of dog you got?
I don't have a dog.
You just went there to hang out?
One of my friends got a dog, and I was like, "You want to meet over there?" And I did it, and we had a good time with him and his dog.
Were they like? Was there just was there shit everywhere, or people? How do they have like
No,
concierge service?
No, I'm assuming you got to clean it up yourself, man. You got a bunch of plastic bags there. I don't think I saw any, so I'm not. Somebody was taking care of it.
Yo,
No,
Angelo,
you have your dog there. You got to keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't shit. And if it does, then you got to pick it up.
Yeah,
Yes.
It makes sense.
yeah, totally. Well, I guess maybe. Well, I know I got a kid now, so it's like I don't know. I'd be too nervous at this point to be like me. I guess if me and Nugget just went, but then my wife would probably be mad. But
I like how you're working this all out.
I'm working it out. I'm glad you guys are here. This is like a virtual therapy session. I didn't think those things would work, but thanks a lot, guys.
I think the move is to say you took the dog for a walk and just ended up at Wonder Bar and you're not sure what happened.
That's
You know
a great
what I mean?
idea.
I'm walking the dog and some exercise. Next thing I know, I'm a block off the beach in Asbury, surrounded by 2,500 single women with dogs. So one thing led to another.
I realized the other day too, and I'd never do this, but do you know how like just thoughts enter your mind? It doesn't make you a bad person, but like I was like if I just leave the house right now, if I just left, like she's stuck here. So if I did want to go to Yappy Hour, she's stuck with the kid. What's she gonna do? I wouldn't do that, obviously, but I'm just saying these thoughts do pass into my mind.
It's almost like that old I know it's like he's canceled or whatever, but it's like that Louis C.K. joke when he talks about how you if you rent a car,
Mm-hmm.
you don't actually have to bring it back because like they want their car back, so you can actually just pull up to the terminal, get out of it, get on the plane, and call them and be like, "Sorry, man, I'm on the plane." They're like, "Well, we should bring the car back," and he's like, "Well, I didn't." So, but your car's there. You know what I mean? So I guess it's kind of like the same thing.
I think people are ready to forgive Louis C.K. He's been mentioned more in pop culture recently. Other comedians have jokes in their stand-up about him.
Yeah.
I think people are ready to. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this will be the one clip that people cut out of here, and they're just like, Andrew is obviously an asshole, and here's proof. But
Louis C.K. apologist.
yeah, people are gonna be mad because of what he did at me. But it was pretty gross, and my heart goes out to all the victims. But
I feel the same way, but it's still a funny joke.
It's still funny. Anyway, I don't know, guys. I guess we covered all the topics. We gotta work on your lighting for the next one because I'm super bright, and you guys are like.
Well, I mean, I asked you if I have access to lights. I'm not.
I didn't want to put you out. I don't want to. I wanted you guys to be comfortable, but
I don't have access to lights. This is how I keep my home.
Angelo looks like he's like a witness, like he's on like some kind of like CBS show, and like he's like, I saw
Voice, voice
Well, I love
modulator
it when-
code.
sorry. No, I was saying when you're on screen, Andrew, it's cool because your background lights me up a little bit. So that's all.
Oh, I could.
Yeah,
But see, so much
that's
lighter.
crazy.
I see that. That's
You
great.
know,
That's great.
and bam.
Um, well, I really appreciate you guys like doing this and coming on here, and I want to do more.
Yeah, let's do more. I got so Andy Chase, who's the he's the afternoon drive guy at 1057 The Hawk, a good friend of mine. He wants to come on the next show.
Oh, shut up! Really?
So we're gonna bring him on, talk to Taylor Allen. So I think we should make it a thing. Let's make it a thing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and as I work out the kinks, man, I want to have like scrolling information on the bottom of the screen for like Mike Merrill's like OnlyFans page and stuff like that.
And I'm also gonna get a colorful brick wall in the back of my apartment. Behind my
I'm gonna get a spotlight in my house too for next time.
That's a good
I want, to
idea.
get, I want to get a background that's like almost like the old stand-up comedy shows where they just had like the fake brick wall.
Oh yeah. Well, like the reason it's so funny, the reason I'm so well lit right now, and the reason I have this ridiculous like brick wall behind me is like, I don't know, a couple years ago, I don't remember when it was. I get these ideas in my head, and I'm like, I want to set something up. I want to have like a studio, and lo and behold, it took like a pandemic for me to actually like blow the dust off of my brick wall and actually hang it up and make myself really lit. I got to get a suit or something, put that on for next time.
I kind of think you just have a weird train set that you don't want anybody to see
Right.
on the back of you. I think that's what it is.
Very elaborate train set behind him.
I think you're not
This-
ready to come out as being a trainist.
Believe it or not, I was looking at these backdrops, and backdrops are very expensive. And believe it or not, this backdrop was on sale.
I can believe.
People were not. What do you think? Like, what would this backdrop like? What could this Is this like for like grammar school, like school pictures, or what do you think this would be for?
Yeah, it's like a fake high school PSA done by the AV club to like not do
Yeah.
drugs.
Or a rapper is coming to a bar in Long Branch, not Asbury, and they buy that
Yeah.
spray paint his logo on it, and you take your picture on your way into the club.
Oh man, do you have any shout outs for any businesses in Long Branch that need some love? If there's any kind of food or any kind of places that you could think of.
Yeah,
please
man,
let me know.
I'll say support the Brighton Bar as much as possible. They support live comedy, music, entertainment. Probably one of the best venues doing that in Long Branch. And then right on Brighton Avenue, I know Bagel Guys is still delivering, available to pick up.
They got pretty good
Surf
bagels.
Taco is. Beyond that, I'm not really sure. If you have shut down, I saw my phone just now. Rook Coffee is closing down all their locations. I
Oh
came
my
up with
God.
that on their Instagram.
Yeah, I think Whisker Do is doing the same because there's one by my house and they didn't appear to be open today. So I'm guessing they're on the same route.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much like I would get coffee, not every day, but I go and get a ridiculous coffee is kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of expensive, but it's one of those luxuries when you're on the road and you really want a coffee. Like it's easy to just grab a coffee from Rook or wherever. So they got to be hurting severe. They got to be hurting real bad.
I'm actually worried because like I don't have for some reason I have like a French press, but I don't have the coffee machine in my house because I usually get coffee out every day
Yeah,
on most days, and like so now I got to figure out what I'm gonna do.
you're just gonna be eating the grounds, like just eating them straight out with your cereal. You'll sprinkle it on
I might
top.
have to get an espresso machine.
There you go. My mother-in-law brought over a Keurig, and she didn't want it or whatever. She gave it to us. Very grateful. And I was like, I'm not gonna use this shit. I got a French press. I'm cool. And like, it's super super convenient. It's so convenient. It's disgustingly convenient.
Nobody wants to use a French press, not even the French.
I was using it, but then I started realizing I'm like, I don't even know if this coffee is good. Like, I don't know if this tastes good. Like, I go to Rook or I go to these other places, and I'm like, this coffee tastes delicious. Like Coffee Surf Co. or Surf Coffee Co. I love their cold brew. But there's so much good coffee out there, and whenever I make coffee at home, like I don't know, I see like Ming in the studio, he's like brewing up his own coffee. I'm like, that looks like fancy and good, but I don't know how to make good coffee.
I like good coffee, but I'm fine with like a cup of like 7-Eleven coffee with like International Delight, bunch of creamer in it. I'm not a picky guy. But.
So what about you, Mike? Any shout outs to any local businesses? You're all over the place.
For tomorrow, by the way, and this might happen during the course of the week, I'm not sure, but tomorrow, if you guys are missing Asbury Park Brewery, I know a lot of people are out of it.
Fuck yeah.
Are out. So you can go by Asbury Park Brewery tomorrow, 5 to 7. And there's a little sign by the thing, and Jeff will be there. where somebody will be there, and you can actually buy cases of beer from the
Oh,
brewery
nice.
directly.
Do they have any sour beers left? You think?
No, they never actually canned the sour, or they did once briefly, but that's not a thing. But they have the blonde, the Sea Dragon. They have
Oh, I'd
they
love
have
a Sea Dragon.
they have the Champagne Jam can still, which is a brewed IPA. They have a Double Dragon, which is like another kind of major IPA too. I think they have some Oktoberfest left over. So there's some stuff there. So 5 to 7 tomorrow, Asbury Park Brewery. If you go knock on the door, someone will come out and take an order from you. You could take a case home. So definitely do that. And obviously, all the restaurants in town that are still open. I know a couple of them are starting to close little by little, but Frank's Deli's still open. You can still get takeout from there. The Galley Pizza, which is a new spot that is awesome, and they're doing a lot of great stuff, and they're staying open. They're delivering and picking up. So those places, especially, try to support them and check them out. But the main one, the Asbury Park Brewery tomorrow, 5 to 7. So
Asbury Park Brewery, 5 to 7 tomorrow. You could pick up big old cases of beer.
Sure.
Sick deals, I would imagine. No,
Yeah,
not that I'm looking for sick deals. I want to pay my fair share.
Reasonably priced. I believe it's like $40 for a case.
Do you know how you saw those pictures of like people at Costco waiting in line? Do you think that's what it'll be like at the brewery? Like people just.
I mean, I hope so. If that's the case, I don't think that'll be a problem.
We still got to do me, Mike, and Colin Carhart. We still got to do our Irishman review because you still don't like it, right?
Need my review in about 30 seconds.
I know. Well, that's the whole episode's just going to be like, basically, I think me and Colin telling you how you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a Xanax or something.
That's perfect. That works.
I'm very passionate about my dislike for that movie.
I hear you. That's good. That's what makes good. Whatever this is, I don't even know what this is called anymore.
You can call it different every time.
I think there's definitely a split between doing this and then doing the Totally Local podcast. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is an episode of it. I can't. I just I just have to use this brick wall basically. Otherwise,
is this going up on the podcast feed or just something different, or what is this going to be?
I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys could help me figure that out. What should I do with this?
I mean, I think it's something we could probably do consistently, and we could probably get people are home, so we could probably get some people to come on and hang out with us. So
yeah.
I would put it up in the podcast feed too, because it's kind of late right now. People might not be up. I know by tomorrow people will be fiending for something to listen to and block out their family for an hour. So I'm gonna give them this.
That's true. I mean, I hope I hope people understand that like we got to talk about the. We had to talk about the coronavirus because that's what's going on. I don't want to I'd like to distract people from the worries. I'd like to let people know that even though we're separated, we're all in this together in our houses. I really, the reason I started the podcast, obviously it's called Totally Local because I really love this area. I love the Monmouth and Ocean County area. Like, obviously, I love Monmouth County more because there's more stuff going on, but Ocean County's cool too.
You don't have to choose sides for anybody. No one's asking you to choose.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm sorry. Like the whole point is that they're both counties. Like I love them both. Doesn't matter if it's equal or not. They're in the logo, for crying out loud. So like, I really like after moving back here and in '08 seeing the horrible economic downturn and falling in love with like Asbury Park when it was still kind of gross, and then seeing it kind of get better, and then like meeting all these wonderful people like you guys. Like, I love this area, and I don't want it to get shitty. Like, I don't know if I want it to get too nice. Like, maybe it was getting too nice. I don't want it to get too shitty though. You know what I mean?
We'll see.
We'll see. That's a good point.
You never know.
You never know, I guess.
Let's just make it through this thing, and then we'll worry about what happens.
That's true. And we'll have a big party. I want to see Mike out DJing and
when's the Nude Curtis album release party coming?
The Nude Curtis release album. I got to talk to Colin Carhart again about that. I'm waiting. I actually have it. I don't know if you guys know this, but like I went through all the steps, and making an album is like, if you want it to sound good, it doesn't even matter. Like, and I've ranted about this before, and I'm ranting about it again. It doesn't matter if it's good. like you could make a bad album, but if you have mixing engineers and like people mastering it and stuff, you can make it sound better. And there's all these little steps that you have to do in order to make it to that point that I'm actually, believe it or not, it's in the mastering phase. And Lauren wants me to release, right now, she wants me to release one of the songs during all this shit because, like, people are like, I have a captive audience,
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
I'm thinking that I'm thinking obviously after when we can go out again, but I need to get the masters back, and then after I have the masters back, then I can have the party after that point.
Well, look, I mean, listen, Run the Jewels, like LP came out today and played like a 20-second clip of the new Run the Jewels record, and so it's only a logical step that you release your thing as
That's
well.
obviously the next step.
Okay, that makes total sense. I appreciate you guys.
On the situation.
Mike, I was going to ask you this too. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to need a DJ for the show. I'm going to need somebody to like hit the buttons like when I'm doing the song.
Okay, I'm in.
Could you do that?
Yeah, of course I can.
All right, cool.
Hey,
And then maybe just point at me.
You guys have tickets to Rage Against the Machine and Run the Jewels?
No, I didn't try to. If anything, I might try to like StubHub something the day of the show, but I didn't.
Yeah, they were just super expensive, man.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that someone last minute's not gonna be able to go and they have to give tickets away, on the cheap.
Right, it's a sick concert, but like hundreds of dollars for the worst seats in the house is crazy.
Yeah, I don't really like arena shows that much anyway, so I definitely wasn't gonna pay $300 a ticket to go to that. But
What do you guys?
Totally agreed.
What do you guys think about the See Here Now? I mean, are you guys? I got tickets for it because I want to get the fuck out of the house.
Well, I work at convention hall, so luckily I don't have to worry about that stuff. But
you're
I'm like,
cool.
I think there's a lot of solid stuff in the lineup. There's a couple of bands that I'm excited to see. Definitely more this year than last year. So I mean, let's just hope that everything goes smoothly and everything.
What do you think about
Labor Day, right? Labor Day weekend.
I'm not sure actually.
Well, around that.
I think it's like the third weekend of September.
Oh, so it's later in September.
Later in September, yeah, I believe.
Chance of it still happening.
Yeah. I'm. No one's even talked about that, so I'm hoping.
Yeah,
that,
I mean, I think it's such a wait and see kind of thing. Like, I don't think they're canceling anything. I mean, there's a lot of music festivals that are doing a thing where, like, for instance, like I think like Lollapalooza, which is in August, and like Osheaga, which is around that time too. None of them are canceling anything. Coachella got moved because it's actually happening in like 3 or 4 weeks
now, right?
But so they had to move it to October. So a lot of the other festivals, they're not canceling anything yet because it's still a wait and see kind of thing. So I don't think all of festival season is going to get canceled yet. Anyway, but
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I keep saying we'll see. I don't know what it is.
I hear you, and we'll see. That's the theme. So I guess we don't really know what's going to happen, and I hope you guys will join me for another exciting episode of Totally Local After Dark in the near future.
I look forward to it.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, man, it's great. Thank you.
Do you guys have any shout outs or anything else you want to add? Any promotions or anything like that?
Well, I think that's really it for me. I'm gonna go to sleep so I can get up to take another nap. So.
All right. Well, I don't know when the next episode will be, but I have nothing to do. Like, so I could do this. I could do this whenever.
Nothing but time.
This sounds sad. I think we should probably
I mean, it doesn't though. Nobody has anything to do. Like this. If anything, I'm doing more than the average person right now. This whole epidemic has made me seem very proactive. Wouldn't you say? All right. On that note, this has been Totally Local After Dark, and I appreciate my guests coming in, and I hope everyone's being safe out there. And let's all take care of each other and wash our hands and wash our asses. And remember, this is Totally Local, TotallyLocalPodcast.com, Totally_local, Totally_local_podcast on Instagram. All right. I'll see you guys later, and I'll see everyone else later, and have a good night.
Later.